right, folks, you're watching Downshift Pass. My name is Chad, and thank you for checking out another one of my reviews. Now, if you are new here, welcome to the channel. If you are not new here, welcome back to the channel. And guys, I'm really excited about today's video. Today, we're taking a look at this 2022 Ford Mustang Mach-E GT Performance Edition. All right, folks, and like I said, I'm really thrilled to be filming this video, this 2022 Ford Mustang Mach-E GT. First, I want to give a huge shout out to the owners for allowing me to use their vehicle, Michael and Nancy. I absolutely greatly appreciate them. So grateful to them for the opportunity. And as always, guys, I'm going to go over the exterior, then we're going to go over the interior features, do an audio test, and the most exciting part that I know everyone is waiting for, we're going to go ahead and go for the drive. Also, really quick, big shout out to Adams Underground out there in Concord, North Carolina. They PPF'd this car, whole front fascia. They did all the way up to about this part on the car, but they could PPF your whole car. This car is ceramic coated and the wheels are also ceramic coated. So good guys over at Adams Underground in Concord, North Carolina. I'll be sure to link them in the description below. If you're looking for some ceramic coating, go ahead and make sure you hit them up. But guys, let's go ahead and get started with the styling. All right, folks, and starting up front, the GT version of the Mach-E should be pretty easy to spot on the street, really thanks primarily to this more aggressive looking front end. All GT models rock this carbonized gray grille that you see here, which looks really cool. And of course, you have the iconic Mustang pony, which actually illuminates at night times. So the folks that you're behind will know for sure what's coming up. Now, the entire lower fascia here is also unique to the GT models. You have a larger lower front splitter as well as air curtains that you see on the side. So you can actually see that you can see through those. And it's all rounded off by these LED headlights as well as these sequential turn signals as well, which looks really neat. They have that front and rear. Also, this paint color looks really good. It shows off the curves of this car really nicely, and it's called the Star White Metallic, which is a $795 option on this vehicle that I think is well worth it, especially in the sunlight. It really just pops, and as you come up close to it, has a lot of sparkle and a lot of flake to it as well. It just looks really good. Now, as we move along to the side here, the changes are a little bit more subtle, with the most obvious being the Performance Edition specific gorgeous 20-inch wheels that you see on this car. The owner of this vehicle told me that they call these the bird nest wheels, which look really cool. You only can get it on the Performance Package Mach-E. The standard models have 18 and 19-inch wheels respectively. These are shot on a 245/45 series tire. The standard tire is actually a Pirelli P0, but the owner switched these out for some Continentals, the Extreme Contact all-season tires on this car. Now, behind these wheels are a 4-piston Brembo brake that's clamping down on a 15.1-inch vented rotor, which is necessary for the immense power that this EV has. Rounding out the side profile is these body-colored wheel arches that you see there, as well as the gloss black rocker panels that visually just hunkers this Mach-E down to the road and makes for a much more exciting look than a standard Mach-E for sure. Now, as we swing around to the back here, of course, you have your standard GT badge on the power liftgate, the same that you would have on the regular GT or the GT Coupe, as you would call it. You also have the iconic tri-bar light tail lights. Now, these turn signals as well as tail lights are all LED. You do get a revised rear diffuser in the back, and I think those subtle changes really make the GT model just stand out so much more than your standard, run-of-the-mill Mach-E. Ford did a really good job on the styling of this vehicle and making sure the differentiation between the GT and the standard Mach-E is subtle yet effective. They did a really good job on that. Now, walking up to the rear of the Mach-E, to open this power lift gate, there is a button down below here. You just push on that and it opens right up for you. You also can use the screen or you can use the key, but it does open to about 30 cubic feet of space, which is a little bit better than this car's biggest competitor, which of course would be the Tesla Model Y, and in this case the Model Y Performance Edition. I love the little quirks that you have back here. It's a lot of branding. So you have the Mustang symbol here on the mat, and then on this light, I don't know if you can see it, it's very small, but there's a Mustang symbol here. One thing it is missing though is latches to pull these seats down, but it's not a long stretch. You just push the buttons on the seat here and it folds flat. Same goes on the other side. You push here, folds flat. No need to remove the headrest or anything like that. Opens up to about 60 cubic feet of space, which is about average for its class. And of course you have a nice cargo cover here as well to cover all your goods. Now to close the tailgate, you have two buttons, oddly, which is strange to me, but hey, you got a button here and then you have a button here as well. So you have two options. If you're a little shorter, you can press that one. If you want to reach up for whatever reason, you can push that one and it closes right on up. All right, folks, and this will be the time in the video when I usually talk numbers and listen to the exhaust. But of course, it's an electric vehicle, no exhaust, but it does produce 480 horsepower. And because this is the Performance Edition, 634 pound-feet of torque. The standard GTs create a still blistering 600 pound-feet of torque, 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds, which matches the Tesla Model Y Performance, and range is about 240 miles. And the best part about it, guys, the Frunk, or front trunk. Now this front can actually be used, or it doubles as a cooler. You see you have a drain down there, two cup holders as well, and it is completely sealed with more Mustang badging here. So at the car shows, if you really want to show off what's under the hood, this will be it. Pretty dope. All right, guys, so hopping into the back seat of the Mach-E, really cool. You have a button here you push and the door pops open for you, and then you can just pull on it here. There's a little black plastic here that you can actually hold on to, so you don't have to get your hands on the paint. And let me go ahead and lift this seat back up. That's how you let the seat back up. But you have about 38 inches of leg room back here, so plenty of space. I'm going to go ahead and hop in. Now guys, I am 5'8". I do have the driver's seat in the position I would be sitting in, and this is the space you have. You also have really good space under the front seat should you need it. Now in the Performance Edition, you do have these nice, beautiful sports seats, but one thing you are missing back here is any type of net. So of course you have your storage space in the door pocket, but you are missing a net on both sides should you need it. Have your two vents back here. I love that Ford puts a USB-C as well as a regular USB or USB-A in the vehicle, so you have options to choose from. And then of course you have your speakers for your B&O stereo system that Ford is putting in all their cars. Tweeters on the doors, very nice suede material here, along with this silver trim that you have here. Of course you have your lights and your handles that you're definitely going to need for this vehicle, and this nice, large, expansive glass roof that blocks out the sun. It's a really hot day in Charlotte today, but it blocks out the sun really well. And just rounding out the rear here, of course, you do have an armrest with two cup holders, some really nice headrests here, and the seats are okay. They are comfortable. They don't have much support in the back seat, but in the front, it is a totally different story. Let's go ahead and hop up there. All right, folks, and hopping into the front seat, you have a couple of different options to get in the car. You can set up your phone as your key, of course. Ford also has not given up on the codes here that you can see on the door. Hope you can see it. Or you can use the actual key. Now, the key has an unlock, lock, as well as the power liftgate button, of course. I'm going to go ahead and lock it up. Now, with the key in your pocket, you can just walk up to the car, push this button here, and the door pops out for you. You have a nice little handle to actually pull on it, so you don't have to touch the paint. I wish I would have put that handle on the back, but again, it's just a button where the door kind of greets you, and then you pull here. So I'm going to go ahead and hop inside and show you guys what it does when you get in the car. So you have a nice little illumination on this smaller screen here. It does this blue thing, and then the Mustang logo pops up, and then you see the Mach-E grill. And then the same goes on this 15.5 inch screen. Let me go ahead and open the door back up. There's the Mach-E grill there. So I think that's really, really neat. Now, of course, you just start the vehicle. It is an electric car, so with your foot on the brake, you just press the start button. and the car comes to life. I love the noise that it makes. And folks, this is where all the fun is to be had in this vehicle. Now, how you open the door, it's actually a little latch here. You just pull on that and it opens right on up. Of course, you have your window controls, all automatic. You do have your powerful mirrors here, along with your lock unlock button. Here are your lighting controls here, automatic headlights. And then take a look at this here. I love that they actually included this very large, expansive, massive, actually 15.5 inch screen. But then you have your lower screen just for your obvious things, your transmission controls here, your speed, which says ground speed, which they always have had in the Mustang, which I just absolutely adore. And then of course you have your range. Now this car is at 100%. When I started it, it was at 240, and just over the usage of me filming the vehicle, has dropped down to 239, but still says 100. So let you know, you get about 240 miles of range on this Mustang. Nice logo in the middle here, and this little thing you see here is actually Ford's Blue Cruise, and this is what everyone wants to see. This 15.5 inch screen shows everything you need. You have your different drive modes. You have whisper, engage, and then of course you have unbridled. Now the screen sometimes is a little, I don't want to call it glitchy, but it might be a little slower to respond than what you would anticipate. But anytime you put it into these different drive modes, this car is fully optioned. It does have the Magna Ride, so the Magna Ride changes, and it kind of gives you a description of what these are. So unbridled says exhilarating drive, machine and road align as one. Engage is going to be balanced, fun, and engaging. And then if you put it in whisper mode, of course, that's going to be standard like comfort mode in a car. Seamless drive, calm and quiet. It does have one pedal driving, ambient lighting. So anytime you turn the drive modes, it actually shows different ambient lights across the vehicle. And then propulsion sound, you can actually cut on and off. And I'm super duper excited to hear what this thing sounds like. Of course, you have your camera controls here. So you have your 360 camera, as well as a nice resolution screen down here, and it's very large. I'm happy they used the entire screen for it. Then you have your parking sensors as well, or you have cameras on the side of the vehicle to kind of stitch together everything and see what you are seeing. Coming along here, you have your parking, active park assist, so the car will self-park, and you have your parking aid. Access button is how you control the tailgate, and then you can control the frunk as well, and it will pop open, as you can hear. Driver assistance is of course your driver assistance package. You have additional settings to choose from, a ton of different settings to choose from your cruise control, speed limit assist, rear view camera delay, just so many different options to choose from in your driver assist. And then of course you have your valet mode. If you are valet in the vehicle, you can control exactly what the driver or the valet driver is going to do with your vehicle as far as speed and everything. You just set up a pin and it takes care of that for you. I love this screen too. Coming down below is just very easy. It's very separated kind of in 3 sections here. Down below, this does not change at all. This is going to be your climate controls. Of course, you have your driver and passenger climate control, heated seats, as well as a heated steering wheel, and then a nice volume control knob is the only thing you have here. And I love how it's tacked on the screen, and if you want to cut it off, you just press in the middle and it will cut the radio off. So this screen has everything you can absolutely think of: Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, of course Bluetooth. It does have built-in navigation, your radio controls, tire pressure. Sketch is just a little something, little game if you want to play. You can just write, draw, do whatever you want to do on that. And those are all your different functionalities with this screen. Everything is controlled through this screen. This is the brain of the vehicle. Now coming down below, you do have your wireless charger. It's only on one side. It would be nice if they put it on both sides, but maybe in the future updates they will. But one side, of course, your USB-C as well as USB-A ports. And then you have your 2 cup holders. And then this is your transmission, so to speak. It doesn't have a transmission, but your drive controls. So P and RD, and then L stands for low. You have your parking button here to cut off all your parking controls. It just controls that there. And then of course your hazard light switch and your automatic parking brake. Nice GT badging everywhere in this vehicle. So on this nice leather stitch middle console here, you can actually let this up and then slide this back, and then you have some nice storage space as well. But guys, take a look at these seats. Again, in the GT Performance package, you have these nice special seats that only come on that model, and they hug you tight. Right here, it feels good on your shoulder, and then coming down below in the torso, it holds you nice and tight here. It is leather as well as a suede-like material, and then here is a little badge that says Ford Performance, which I think is really neat. Up above, you do have a sunglass holder, and then of course that very large panoramic sunroof that you have back here. So overall, this interior is really nice. It does have that dual cowl design that has been on Mustangs since their inception back in the 60s. So you have the two cowls here, which look really cool. Your vents are integrated very nicely, and then of course you have your glove compartment. It is damp but not lined with felt, so be careful with things that may rattle around. B&O speakers in the front that look really nice, and leather stitch material just everywhere, suede on the doors just like in the back, and nice soft grain leather as well. The high touch points on the door as well. So overall, this interior is just spectacular, especially in comparison to Tesla's. We know Tesla is a startup brand, but this vehicle, the fit and finish in it is phenomenal, especially for the price of the car. People were nervous if Ford would be able to do it, but Ford really pulled it off with its interior as well as the exterior. Now for the most exciting part, this car does 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds, so let's go ahead and go for a drive. All right, folks, sitting out here in the 2022 Mustang Mach-E GT, and I'm going to start this vehicle. You have 3 different drive modes, as you can see: Whisper, Engage, and Unbridled. Unbridled basically is the sportiest setting. Engage is just a more engaging drive, and then Whisper would be more so your comfort mode. And it does have a little bit of propulsion noise, but not much. So I'm going to start off in Whisper and just continuously move up as I drive the car. Now, Ford really designed this Mustang Mach-E, number one, with the Mustang DNA. You can't have the Mustang name and not make this vehicle truly about performance. So to be honest, I really think they focused on performance of this vehicle before anything else. And you can really absolutely tell in the drive. I mean, it's pretty spectacular. Now, this one is, again, fully optioned. With the GT Performance Pack, it does have the MagneRide suspension, and that MagneRide really makes a huge difference. If you ever driven a Mustang Coupe with the MagneRide, you know, especially with the larger wheels and everything, this one has 20-inch rims, and you really don't notice. Not a rough ride whatsoever. It's not too stiff over bumps. One big thing you always wonder about with electric vehicles also is the road noise, and this one does a really good job of isolating you from the outside. You don't have a lot of wind noise on the highway, which you're going to see in just a moment. Just cruising along, it's not even that awkwardness that you think you would have because you don't have, you know, engine noise in the background. Now, this one is in Whisper mode, and when I accelerate, it makes a propulsion noise, but not much of a noise. And I'm going to let you guys hear that in just a moment. All right, so if I accelerate in Whisper mode, put my head to the headrest because it pulls. See, it's not too much noise at all. And I'll go ahead and put it in Engage mode. And I really hope the microphone is picking up the noises that it makes. Ford engineers really worked hard to give this car a soundtrack that would be befitting for something with the Mustang name. And, you know, I'll tell you what, they did a really good job. So as soon as I get on this straightaway, I'm going to go ahead and give it a little bit more gas. Hope you can hear it. All right, here's Engage. So you see it has a nice, deep, throaty sound there. And then if we put it in Unbridled, go around this corner here. It handles these corners really nicely. It's relatively flat. Let's see if we can hear it now. Slow down a little bit. And this is Unbridled. So it's a little bit of an even deeper tone when you have it in Unbridled mode. And as you're driving along in Unbridled, it actually almost has a drone to it, which to me was kind of getting a little bit aggravating. I don't know if it's something that you would just get used to over time, but it's a constant drone that you hear. But I'm going to keep it in unbridled, because if this was my vehicle, that's exactly how I would drive it. But guys, let me tell you something. 0 to 60 in 3.5 seconds in this vehicle, and man, does it pull. 634 pound-feet of torque. You feel it. Let's try it. I mean, it puts you in your seat. It's almost unbelievable how it moves, and the noise definitely helps with the visceralness of it all. All right, we're gonna turn onto the highway here. It's a nice little sweeper. I'm not gonna do too much. This is a brand new vehicle. The owners have had it about 2 weeks, so I don't want to put it through its paces too much before they get a chance to. But it's really stable, really flat in the corners without being wholly uncomfortable. See if you can hear that engine drone. These seats are extremely comfortable. These seats are specific to the performance package. So again, there are leather and suede-like material seats. They hold you in really, really nicely, especially in the torso area. But then you kind of have some shoulder huggers as well that feel really good. Also very good sight lines. Take a look at that hood. On the outside, it doesn't look as aggressive as you would think, but taking a look at it from the inside, it has those nice haunches there. Looks really, really nice. Nice large mirrors. The rear view mirrors, I think, are a little bit on the small side. They could be a little larger, just for a little bit better visibility, but they get the job done. One thing I really love about this vehicle is I appreciate this 15.5-inch screen. I absolutely do. You can't not like it. It has everything you need in it. But I really appreciate Ford for adding this smaller screen here, for showing you everything that you just need at a glance. You have your speed, it's ground speed, which I love, your speed limit there, your range in nice big bold letters, your direction, one pedal driving, and then when you cut the cruise control on, which I'm going to show you in just a moment, it shows all the information that you need for your cruise control, lane keep assist, how far you're following behind the vehicle. Everything you need at a glance is right there at a glance. And then your more secondary controls, or things you won't use as much but control the vehicle, are all in this 15.5-inch screen, which has nice separation to it as well. It's about 3 different levels of separation, with the climate control on the bottom, all your regular controls in the middle, and up top are just your quick controls to get to certain things. Alright, so let's see how this Magna Ride handles this corner here, or curve, little roundabout. I'm telling you guys, this car feels absolutely purpose built, and I can tell I'm not even giving it half of what it can do. All right, we got one more roundabout here, and then we're going to merge back onto the highway in Unbridled. I'll let the cars go a little bit so we can hear it. All right. Man, oh man, I tell you, it is nothing like that instantaneous torque of an electric motor. 635 pound-feet to be exact. 634. All right, guys, so this car does have Blue Cruise, which is Ford's auto driving system. And as you can see, this little black bar here actually sees your eyes, so you don't really have to touch the wheel whatsoever, which is a really, really neat feature. I think it's much better than Tesla's, where you have to touch the wheel ever so often. As long as it can sense your eyes on the road, it'll go ahead and just drive the car itself. Also, it only works on highways that are built into the system, but I mean, they're all over the country. So as long as it's on a highway or an expressway, it'll definitely go ahead and do it. If you're out on the street, it'll be more of a lane keep assist. But I'm gonna go ahead and put it in Blue Cruise, and at the same time, we're gonna do our audio system test. This does have the upgraded B&O system that Ford is putting in all their products. So I'm gonna go ahead and do the audio test and let the car drive itself, and then we'll talk about it once we're done. Folks, and that was the audio test with the B&O system that is in the new 2022 Ford Mustang Mach-E GT Performance Edition. Now, I don't know if you could tell on that screen, geez Louise, I don't know why it wants to happen when I'm trying to film. I don't have a lot of time with the vehicle. I definitely want to get it back to Michael and Nancy as soon as possible, but the Blue Cruise was not wanting to operate, and that is only because of the way that I film my videos. It wasn't able to see my eyes, but I will tell you, I was able to drive the vehicle earlier just to kind of get a little demo of it, and that the Blue Cruise, say that 3 times fast, the Blue Cruise works flawlessly. I'm talking about one of the best self-driving systems that I have ever used. The vehicle I wasn't asked to put my hands on the wheel whatsoever. It's hard not to want to do that. Now, with updates over time, the vehicle is going to get to a point where it will eventually be able to switch lanes on its own and pretty much do exactly what Cadillac Super Cruise does, as well as Tesla's autopilot, where you can put something in the navigation and the car will essentially drive itself there with very, very little driver interaction. And I cannot wait for that, because this Blue Cruise blew my mind, to be honest. I love the fact that you can just drive, and as long as your eyes are straight ahead and looking at the road, the car will just do its own thing. So, of course, everyone wants to know how this car compares to the Tesla Model Y. I did do a full review of a Model Y Performance. I'll go ahead and link that as well up above. So make sure you check that out after you finish watching this video. But the way it compares, honestly, this car feels completely purpose-built for its mission, which is to be an electric vehicle, yes, absolutely, but to kind of be that performance electric vehicle. The acceleration in the Tesla is blistering. I mean, it's astounding. In comparison to what this car does, that Tesla lifts up really hard. The all-wheel drive system in a Tesla is amazing. There is very little wheel spin. With this Mustang, you'll get some wheel spin, but the car doesn't lift up as much. It feels more like a sports vehicle than, say, the Tesla. The Tesla kind of just feels more like a nicer vehicle with just a huge engine in it. The handling in this vehicle, the sounds that it makes, the fact that you can choose different sounds and cut it off completely should you want nothing at all. The fact that the wheels can break loose if you would like for it to. It definitely has that rear wheel drive bias. But the most awesome part of it all, guys, is that you can carry 5 people in this vehicle, 60 cubic feet of space, and with the seats folded up, you still have about, again, 30 cubic feet of space. So you're able to do everything that a Mustang can do and everything your typical crossover can do. It's honestly the best of both worlds. All right, folks, so I have it in whisper mode. We're gonna whisper into my final thoughts of the Mustang Mach-E GT. Guys, this is an awesome performance bargain. I mean, when you look at what you get, pretty much everything I explained as to why you would want this over a Tesla or how it compares to the Tesla. This vehicle, again, just feels a little bit more purpose-built. If you're somebody who doesn't think you're ready for traditional EVs, I think this is the EV for you. The fact that it came from a legacy automotive brand, the fit and finish is amazing. Me personally, I was never big on electric vehicles. I'm still a V8. My personal vehicle was actually a turbo 4-cylinder 6-speed manual transmission. I'm looking for a V8 6-speed as my next vehicle, but I'm not gonna lie, this would be the first electric vehicle I would go out and purchase, spec'd perfectly, just as this owner has spec'd his. I probably would get that orange color just to give it a little bit more pop, but otherwise, this is the perfect electric vehicle, guys. Honestly, I like it better than the Tesla. Tesla is a really good vehicle. You should definitely check it out if you're interested, but this is the one to get. All right, guys, and that's all I have on the 2022 Mustang Mach-E GT Performance Edition. I absolutely appreciate you for watching. If you made it this far in the video, or if you learned something new in the video, go ahead and hit that subscribe button as well as that like button. It definitely helps me continue to get very, very dope vehicles like the one that you are watching right here. And as always, I appreciate you for watching. I'll see you in the next one. Thanks. Bye-bye.